Party people in the place to be, live from 58 Dream Street. We're Jamesin' with Games. Happy Sunday, folks. Cedric in the house. Welcome, my friend. And you are my friend, and that remains true, even if our nations are at war. As I was saying when we did the Frosthaven show on Friday, I'm well aware that no American who would choose to spend more than 5 minutes hanging out with us here at 58 Dream Street is responsible for any of this, so I don't hold it against you. But oh my goodness, what a world. Fortunately, we can retreat into fantasy here with a story of a perhaps even bleaker world. It's I don't know. It's a wild situation. Just, I feel very, here's the thing. I've been on the Elon Musk is bad train for over a decade now. So since the time when expressing that opinion just got everybody else in the room to go like, dude, he's going to save the world with batteries. What is wrong with you? He's a genius. He's so cool. And we've crossed the horizon where, like, okay, I've been proven right enough. I don't need any more. Like, I'm no longer deriving satisfaction from being proven right here. Can we just, yeah. But what are you going to do? So, what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on what we can control, our actions in Disco Elysium. I learned something that I need to verify. Yeah, exactly. I have learned. I learned something that I still need to verify. So don't take my complete word on this yet. But I wanted to get it out there now, so it stays in my head. I read that the creator of Disco Elysium has put the game up on the Internet Archive, specifically because apparently through corporate shenanigans, some suit seized control of all the assets, and so purchasing Disco Elysium does not profit the people who created it anymore. I wish I had known that before I'd purchased it. If indeed this is true, in case I might be misinformed. I need to do some more reading. But until such time as I am misinformed, I think I will say, if anyone's watching this who has never played Disco Elysium and you see me playing it or see anyone else playing it, because you're just clicking around, you watch me for a few minutes and you're like, oh, this guy sucks. I'm going to go to a different Disco Elysium stream. And you want to give it a shot yourself, maybe get it from the Internet Archive. I'm not sure if there's some, Patreon-like situation where people have the option to make some kind of in-kind payment to the actual creators, but maybe by next week I will know more. Because I just heard about this like in the last hour, so I haven't had time to do a deep dive. But I would like to. One other funny thing before we get started. Cedric, I think you in particular might get a kick out of this. Last week, not last week because I took last week off, 2 weeks ago, last time we played Disco Elysium, I earned in the GOG Galaxy app an uncommon achievement in Disco Elysium. One that is earned by only 15% of players. Can you guess, Cedric, what achievement I earned? Or anybody else who might have not spoken to the chat yet but is here? I'll give you a second. Yes, literally the sorriest cop on earth. I've apologized 10, and then in parentheses, there's 3 exclamation points times. And I just want to point out, we've joked about how, obviously you can tell that I'm Canadian because I keep saying sorry. And that's all well and good. But only 15% of people who play this game get that option. I'm not judging anybody because this is a role-playing game and you can play the character however you want. But, like, we're definitely playing as a guy who has a lot to apologize for. I don't know. At any rate, it's day 2. I had a very serendipitous episode naming experience yesterday when I called Space Quest V's first episode. I'm going to fire the game up here. My first episode of my Space Quest V playthrough, I called it A Waste Odyssey literally in a lazy way where I was like, I need a sci-fi pun. Roger's a janitor. A waste odyssey. All right, fine, good enough. And then it turns out that the plot of Space Quest V is that Roger becomes the captain of a garbage ship, and within like an hour in the game, there's a set piece where you watch a garbage like monolith rotate slowly in front of a planet while also Sprach Zarathustra plays in the background. Today, I realized at like 1:30, I was like, oh no, I haven't done any looking into a good disco reference. Yep. I mean, geez, that is like, that's a very realistic take, I think, on what a character like this might feel. All right. We're going to be up in a moment. Where's my... Just got to find my thing. There we go. And yeah, so I was like, all right, I'm just going to go through Donna Summer's entire discography on Wikipedia, looking for a song that could somehow be a good title for, like, No Time to Make a Parody. Just using the straight title. Does she have anything that would be a good start of day two? And lo and behold, Donna Summer has a song called I Remember Yesterday. Perfect. Beautiful. All right. Say 7 deranged superstar lines. Awesome. Again, like, it's hardly an original observation, but an incredibly cool thing about this game is just the Rego Death, welcome. Incredibly cool thing about this game is just the sheer variety of possibilities, ways you can play the character and ways that the game will respond. And especially impressive because, again, it's not a character that you made up, but just by the simple gimmick of giving him amnesia and then parceling out details, she's like, ta-da! You can really sculpt this guy. Very cool. So I realized, because I've got some skill points, right? 3. And I realized I very much need to explore a new... I'm glad that I took a week off because this thought didn't occur to me before last week. I need to explore a new facet of the game, which is spending skill points to forget thoughts. Because I don't need this shit in my head anymore. Lost forever. Happily. Bye-bye, advanced race theory. And hello to rigorous self-critique. All right. And then I've got 2 more skill points. And I'm thinking I will put one into Half-Light. And then see if I can't, do something about the racist lorry driver. But I also realized if I'm ever going to crumble and just be like, fine, I'm cheating, it's going to be about bullying this guy. So maybe we'll do a couple reloads and just make sure that we bully this racist piece of shit. I said before this year started that I felt like this was going to be a great year for me, even if it's a bad year for the world. And so far that's feeling pretty true. Although I will say that my usual cheerful demeanor is really wrestling with a lot of anger about broader events that I have no control over. Woo! Oh, there's stuff to do. Day 2. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, and I feel like shit.
Morning.
He gives you a quick nod.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
The man Gart told us about yesterday?
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said.
Hey, don't worry about it, Kim. At least one of us is on the ball here.
One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it.
Ho ho ho. How am I doing on my way to my next level up? Oh, just getting started. But hey, 30 experience points. Alright. I don't need to be reminded. We have to talk to the Union because of this whole investigation.
One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Is that what you want to do?
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first.
He's always thinking, you're right. You're right, Lieutenant.
But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
Yes, geez. Good point, logic. But I do think that Kim's got a fairer point. We can go. We can get started elsewhere. You know, bullying a racist or whatever else we're going to get up to. And then we can come back.
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Righto, buddy. All right. I wonder, probably she doesn't want to say anything more.
Just a moment.
The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
The cafeteria manager appears genuinely apologetic because Gart's not really a bad guy. It just, you know, he doesn't want to deal with me, and that's fair.
It's fine, I understand.
She turns back to
Thank
you
you
with a
anyway.
weary smile.
I'm glad to see you again, dear.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to make... no, I don't want to become a parody of myself. Good day, ma'am. Is everything all right?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working.
Kim, is there...
The Union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
She sighs. What's wrong with the phone line?
The manager was vague about it.
She frowns.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
I'm sure Gart will be happy to answer invasive questions about his phone problems. Why'd you need to use the phone anyway?
To let the young woman who's house sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them.
Oh dear.
I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Okay. Lena, I'll bite. Is this normal? Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully. But you have more important things to worry about.
She glances out the window toward the bay. What is this expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
You mentioned traps. Could there be some problem with them?
I doubt it, sweetie. The traps aren't big enough for humans to get caught in them. They're for the insect. Anyway,
I really meant more like, could they be having problems setting the traps to their satisfaction?
Do it. Find him. This will surely lead to a mystery with that extremely rare insect. Yes, please. Some science fiction is exactly what's needed right now. Spice up that vanilla murder investigation.
I don't know that I should do this, but It does sound like police business. I'll help find your husband.
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but...
It's just a little side thing, Kim. Like, we'll do it down the line. We might even have to go down the coast.
If you say so.
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be right here if you come across
I might
any
get
sign of
myself in
Morel.
trouble by agreeing to help too many people. Then again, trouble is kind of my whole thing.
Can I help you?
No. Not right now. Take care, Gart. All right, Kim, let's get going. Power move. And away we go. Turn the heat down in here. One moment. Excellent. Okay. Moment of truth is at hand. I don't know that I'm going to crumble and save my way through this, or if I'm going to hold strong on wanting to let the dice fall where they lay. But let's try. I could maybe, I could take a drink. I shouldn't, though.
Looking for something?
58%. I got a bonus because he saw me snooping cabin. Oh, that might have meant that I was allowed to try it even before I leveled up. Let's see.
Men like
Ha!
this only respect two things: strength and fear.
Hey, remember the conversation that we were having the other day about the lady lorry driver? Show me her lorry right fucking now. The lady's driver's lorry. Where is it?
Fuck you, I told you. I'm not gonna...
You actually are.
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
Okay. I want to play this smart. Well, I want to play this, Okay, let's see. Not number 3. Not going to threaten him with criminal violence. But I'm also not going to threaten to rape him. So, my choices are between... no, I don't want to do it. No. All right. Let's just go with implication. What's your name, fuckhead? We've just been calling you Racist Lorry Driver. I'm going to go on the police radio and say this guy told Madre to fuck off. How do you think they'd feel about
Look,
that?
fuck you, man.
He
It's
tries
a
to
lorry
wave you
down
off.
There. Green, banged up thing. I don't fucking know who she is.
When did she go away?
I love... it's so good that I'm here shaking him and Kim's just keeping it cool, keeping it calm.
I don't know.
Ice water
I
in
don't
his
even know
veins.
her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her for days.
Now it's not a big deal for him anymore. This is how he saves face.
So where exactly is the lorry?
Past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now, leave me the fuck alone, okay?
Tell you what, I'll leave you alone until the next time I need something from you.
A small temple by the monument. Green. Let's get into that lorry.
You got it,
Looks
Lieutenant.
like he got his adrenaline up, too.
All right. I'm going. Have a nice day. Asshole. Green lorry by the monument. here's the monument. And here's a big green lorry.
This green found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
This must be the one he told us about, unless he was lying.
Let's take a peek in the window.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of the seat and 2 steering levers.
Well, it's definitely a lorry, Lieutenant.
It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too.
I guess they probably locked their door, but let's make sure.
The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
It's important to them to keep their door locked. How are we going to get this open, Kim?
Let's get the pry bar from my kinema and smash in the window.
Good idea. I like the way you think.
I don't know how good it is, but this investigation has taken long enough. We can't afford it to take any longer.
Do I have the pry bar? No, I have the bolt cutters. Let's go get the pry bar. And we did not have to poison our friendship with our dude here.
Inside,
And we
you
got to
see
bully a
set of
racist.
steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into place. The tools inside are neatly organized.
Neatly organized, but there were only 3 tools in the toolbox when it started. Now there's only 2. And like if it was a full-on toolbox, then that would be more characterization of Kim. But as it is, that's just saying, it tells us nothing about Kim.
The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, heavier than you'd think.
Should have brought this while we were intimidating the racist.
Useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids.
Could have helped open his lid.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering wheel and the radio on its hook.
I was saying this yesterday, at a much less relevant time during my Space Quest stream, but I learned that it's possible. What gave me the realization I wanted to use a skill point to forget about advanced race theory. We haven't found the fridge, and that should probably be the next thing, because he's probably not literally cooking. But thank you for that reminder, Rigodeth. Because I was going to go to the journal to remind myself everything.
Contemporaire is parked in the shadow of the ruins.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Overhead. It's seen
Oh,
better days.
never mind. Tool not equipped. I was like, really? It's that challenging for me to smash a glass window with a crowbar? Pardon me. There we go.
This green found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead.
So I'm still not great at this. This might be embarrassing. I'm hoping that Kim will just say, here, let me do that or something, but let's see. Maybe I'll roll a 12.
Pry bar in hand, you take a hard swing at the window. A loud thunk rings out and the pry bar bounces back,
Actually,
leaving a tiny spider web on the bar.
no, I'm wearing gloves. It's okay. Really?
Another
Hit it again.
futile thunk sounds in the brisk coastal air.
This is not a proud day. Well, actually, you know what? Here's one thing. I would have a temporary bonus to physique if I'd given in to my demons, but I haven't. So in that sense, it's a proud day.
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
Thank you, Lieutenant. The Lieutenant takes the pry bar from you, gestures for you to step back, and then, with short warning,
He smashes it into the window. Droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor and pavement. You can just reach in now.
Opening the door from the
The
inside.
smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Well, let's take a look at these posters. See if any of them are covering up a secret compartment.
These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century.
Oh, man. I've never really thought about it in those exact terms. Of being like, let's watch a movie from the 90s of the last century.
One of them particularly catches your eye. A centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat.
Danielle was watching the original Parent Trap the other day, and I saw some of it, and like as far as a Disney live action movie from the 60s, it's all right. And I remember enjoying the Parent Trap, the Lindsay Lohan remake when I was young, and my sister loved it, so I saw it a lot. But the thing about that movie is that the parents, like the underlying plot setup of let's each take one of our identical twin daughters and we'll just not tell them that they have an identical twin is just like, what family court consented to this, and what kind of monsters would do that to the children? The Parent Trap should be to, catch them both in a big cage and not let them out until they sign emancipation papers. Oh, centerfold of some ingenue.
The actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. A feeling of tenderness washes over you. A longing even, perhaps. And gentle tragedy.
Does she remind me of a girl that I once knew?
The actresses and the rare actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat. Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
Why would anyone need so many radio
For
stations?
contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This
yes,
is all
okay.
shortwave, UW and UKV.
Of course.
Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation, with quite a range too.
You obviously know more about radios than me, Lieutenant. Is there anything we can do with this?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without a dial key.
Huh? What else is here?
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes, some dead actresses, and a rusty old toolbox under the seat.
I don't know what I'm going to look at the pedals for, but let's check the pedals.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look.
I mean, maybe this is a secret compartment.
Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by
This
the
does
disorganized
suggest
driver.
that the toolbox might be there for a different reason.
But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle. Sandpaper adds extra grip.
It looks like the driver's glued a piece of sandpaper to the throttle for extra grip.
Sandpaper? A novel technique?
It's strange. Well,
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front. And
The
a
tools are
pull-out
all around
toolbox
here.
tucked under the driver's seat.
what's in the toolbox?
A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
Is it folded like a big, brick of heroin?
It's an issue of Petit Ferique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
Come on. Evidence.
It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system.
All right.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
Well. It's got a hoping you'd take that somewhere, Lieutenant.
The pull-out toolkit slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. Radio, posters, a trace of motor oil smell under all the cigarettes. You close the rusty old lorry door.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, Detective? Before we return to Joyce?
Absolutely.
All right, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Yeah, seems like something police would do. What do you think of all this, Kim?
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation.
Are you sure we shouldn't be trying to get into the back of this thing, see if there's drugs there?
I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net.
Plus, it has its own fancy secret frequency system, huh?
I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
Think it's connected to the Union?
We didn't find anything conclusive linking them to the smuggling operation, but somehow I doubt that Evrard Claire would be oblivious to something like this happening right under his nose.
That is a feeling that I share, Lieutenant.
My suggestion is we use it against the Union in any way we can, to our own ends. It's a slippery hill, but we just might be able to pin them down, indirectly, down the road.
Maybe. What are the odds that the RCM is going to open an investigation into
We
this?
should return to the murder case, see what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it.
That sounds like a good plan,
There
Lieutenant.
are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that.
He stops to think. What you thinking?
The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Corruption.
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
Think the movie posters factor in?
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the trader's just some sort of cinephile.
Yes, well,
Unimportant.
Definitely unimportant. Okay, debrief over?
debrief over. After you.
Affirmative, Lieutenant. I'm gonna make you proud today. I'm going to be good police today. Alright, we're going to Joyce, and then I'll pop up my journal, remind myself of everything that I might want to do. Oh. Wait, stop. I do got a minute, but let's have this conversation when I'm not menacingly holding a crowbar.
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
Sorry, man. I can't disclose the facts of an official
It's
investigation.
that bad. Man, what should I do? What should I do to help her?
Tommy, the last thing we need here is more civilians getting involved.
Yeah, maybe I should just keep my head down and work on my rhymes while I can.
What's the plan with the rhymes, anyway?
Oh, you know. Tommy Leham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, but with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft.
How'd you come up with the stage name Tommy Lahome?
Tommy Lam was taken.
Ha,
My real name's Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better.
whatever makes you happy, man.
It's more him.
Hey, good luck with that, Tommy. We gotta run.
Yeah, you too. Be safe, detective.
Peace and love, buddy. Okay, actually, I want to remember right now. What is... Fridge the body. Check out the fridge in the commercial building across from the whirling. So I have to get into that commercial building. And to do that, I need to talk to the book bitch. That's not my name for her. That's Kunos. Although... I'm also trying not to accidentally make Kim run. Kim expressed, which I really appreciated the game paying attention to, that it's weird how many times I accidentally double-clicked and started running when I'm a miserable, hungover detective who's wearing, heeled platform shoes.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Lots of things, but by the by, talked to Ataraxia.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
It's not important if I like him. Just got a job to do.
Of course, detective. Excuse me for implying otherwise.
Oh, no. It's
The
all good.
RCM does not pick sides in this. I hope it doesn't come off any other way.
Like the lieutenant says.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt verm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something...
Well, maybe I do, but it won't be this particular investigation.
How could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
I'd rather talk about something else for now, if you don't mind.
Of course, detective. Should
Just
something
simmers
come
down.
up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat.
No, something's come up already.
Until
I'm right
then,
here.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Hold on. Yeah, there's like no new option for me to be like, hey. So let's try going back into tell me about the drug
Until you come up
trafficking.
with something at that intersection, I'm afraid I have little else to tell you. But I'll try. Ask.
She simply nods.
What's going on here? Report back to Joyce.
Wow, so someone's been a little boring.
What?
Yes, my standard liege. Someone's seen all sorts of wild ideas pop off and thought, I'll take the boring one. The regular, please. The brown.
What is this? You're picking on me for not being crazy enough? I got bigger problems.
No need to be defensive. The regularity, the brownness, the cut and dry have their appeal. A very standard appeal.
I like
Of
standards.
course you do. Maybe some regulations and a usual pistol to go with them. It's official. My lord's copper type is regular cop. I'll let everyone know. I'll send out a telefax.
Yeah, no need. We're going to keep that announcement on
Good,
standby
good.
for now.
Of course. To outright declare yourself something does seem a bit too interesting now, doesn't it? I won't trouble you any further.
Shut up, Brain. I don't need this shit.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I don't understand. Okay, wait.
Yes, my
Okay.
eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect.
Level
What
up.
have you discovered?
Where exactly are these eyes that you have on the harbor?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this.
I guess we're all in the panopticon, Joyce.
In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
It surely does
She's
seem
trying
like
to
it.
conceal her excitement, but the slight glimmer in her green eyes tells you otherwise.
Don't play cool with me, Joyce.
The lieutenant is about to interject. Cut him off. This decision should be yours.
No, that's not important. The lieutenant can handle this.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation.
I'm not an authoritarian.
Subject to confidentiality. I am sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn.
Indeed it is, my dear. Go on.
I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Was that about a bloodbath?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Would that be descending because of the Union or because of Wild Pines bringing in strikebreakers?
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
All right, so what's the connection, Joyce, between the lynching and the strike?
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Momentary lapse of faith in you?
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
That's your job to relay the offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
And do you feel like you need security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
But you and me, we want to avoid a bloodbath.
Who are they, exactly?
Good question, Lieutenant.
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinaise. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating.
Well, I don't love the sound of that.
They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
Well, hopefully there won't be any sudden loud noises
So,
in
what
the
happened?
urban civilian environment.
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him.
Disgusting. I can accept a little threatening suicide in public because you're so drunk. But you shouldn't be hurting other people.
He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
Ah, so that's who the victim is. Good to know. And then what?
Nothing.
Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
Kind of seems like that's going to lead to reprisal lynchings.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Yeah. Are they dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's like me and the lieutenant here?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
Boy, oh boy. Is that not good?
It's not good, no. My only hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put,
She grabs a hold of the mainsail.
if you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
This is a real, if any fans of the Notorious B.I.G. In the building tonight, this is a real somebody's gotta die scenario here.
They would have to project strength and power.
Somebody's got to die. If I go, you got to go.
The Debarders have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
In Japan, bees have evolved a defense against the Asian giant hornet. Because indeed, if the Asian giant hornet invades an unprepared beehive, it slaughters the bees in there at an alarming speed. But if just one drone sees that Asian giant hornet coming, it goes back to the hive as fast as it can and does its little communication dance and says, "There's an Asian giant hornet coming." And then the bees cluster around the mouth of the hive, like pressed up against the wall, like it's a surprise party. And the Asian giant hornet comes in, and then they all just jump on it, and they cover it, and then they cook it. They surround it so that it raises the internal temperature of the giant hornet until the thing dies.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath.
Yeah, it's quite a thing to see. If you like, I'm sure you can find at least one, probably more than one videos of it on YouTube. It's great. When I was a kid, I was scared of bees and hornets, and wasps, all alike, all the stinging insects. As an adult, I understand, with some exceptions, that the bees are our friends, and that all the things that have evolved to trick us into thinking they might be bees are terrible. It's very neat. This is a pretty bleak scenario you're describing. Is it the only one?
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia.
I'm not actually nameless. I guess I just had to click on a dialogue option back when I was talking to Avart to internalize my name, but I'm Harry DuPont, I think.
All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Well, what can you tell me about Crenell?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
That sounds like a military contractor.
Down a deep black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eendracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions, and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
All right. Anything else you got on him?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources.
She thinks.
If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
She thinks.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, man?
That's a penetrating question, Lieutenant.
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Maybe this is unrealistic, but could you just contact them? Like, contact Wild Pines, tell them to call off Crenell?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
All right. I've hit the point where I have to take a brief intermission to blow my nose before I start making lots of unintentional, disgusting sounds here on the stream. Hang tight, gang. I'll be right back with you. And we're back in business. Whoops. 1 second. And now 1 more second. Got a tickle in my throat right as it came back. So I wanted to mute the microphone for a moment. All right, here we go. So you said this deceased guy had assaulted a woman?
This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
Who did the passing on?
The remaining contractors. Their tribunal. It's what they believe.
And what exactly did these teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinaise.
It doesn't sound entirely unrealistic.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
He's got a thought forming. Hey, squeaky girl. What's up, Abba? Hi.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk. Maybe on narcotics, too.
Yeah, but that's no excuse, Joyce. There are some people who really mostly just hurt themselves when they're on a lot of alcohol and other narcotics.
Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
Any word on who the woman was?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
Okay. Well, if they believe it, that's...
You meet her soon enough, you feel.
This colonel. The one who's hanged. You get to know him much?
If you mean did I see him alive, yes. But I did not know him.
You don't know how you know. It's not written on her face, nor in her voice, but she had sympathy for this man.
You liked him?
Liked is a bit strong. He was the most charismatic among them. He handled all the talking. His departure left a major gap in the group's communication skills.
And his name?
Lely, his service name, a nom de guerre most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Tell me more about the others, though.
One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color, the deceased's?
I'm interested to see where you're going with this, Lieutenant.
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
There's a pang of regret to her voice.
That's all right, ma'am. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
Yeah, we took our best guess, but, you know, he was pretty gross looking by the time we got to him.
He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions.
I always say that the most charismatic individuals are the rapists with busted up jaws that make it impossible to tell what their facial expressions mean.
Indeed. This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Hodinese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
And, you know where these remaining two mercs, these Cordy and Phyllis, are now?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth.
And I'm actually currently disarmed, so yeah.
They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages.
Ugh.
It will not be a fruitful meeting.
I don't like either of those words, and they form a terrible phrase.
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol.
Be that as it may, even if we're not going to confront them, we got to know where they are.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Fair enough. Let me think about this.
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
So I guess one of them is that goon in the shitty work clothes by the gate, scab leader.
That may be so. I still
She's
hope you
poised and
heed my
unperturbed.
advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
Maybe there's not.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
I don't know, Joyce, but what if preventing a massacre was actually more important than your career?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
Maybe that's another way to say it. And then, given that you had tabs on us, one of them's in a building that overlooks the roundabout.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
All right.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
She nods towards the sloop's cabin. All right, I got another question for you, though.
I hope I can answer it better.
How much time do you think we got here?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
There's a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay. Why do the seagulls usually fly over the sea and not the bay? Because if they fly over the bay, they're bagels. A friend of mine told me that joke when I was in the 6th grade, and I laughed until I almost died.
5 days, not more, maybe sooner.
All right, I don't feel like we got a lot of time.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Matter of like 5 days, maybe less. Well, it's enough for now.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Well, now could you tell me a little bit about his tattoos?
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
She reaches over the guard wire, takes the photo, holds it in her hand.
For about half a minute, in silence.
Wow.
It was taken with a trigger not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
I stay quiet and I observe her expression.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. She has no excess of emotions for this cadaver. Has she seen dead bodies before? It's likely.
What do you think, Joyce?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
She points to one on the photo paper.
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Like stars in the sky?
Close. Port cities. This is an Orionese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
And what's the use of this map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
This one has flown quite far by now.
I would say he's near the Arcade Islands by now, ready to exit the Insulindian and into the Pale, if I've read his home address correctly.
So, what travels is this guy making?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Orionese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder.
She points to it in the photo.
He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semnese Islands, then this.
And what's that?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Intereastillary Age.
Right, the Intereastillary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
Time is marching on.
You said you can't read it.
The old world is dying, and the new one struggles to be born.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Somewhere in an office lit by a single green desk lamp. Captain Ptolemaeus Price, 58, bald and bespectacled, is writing in a ledger on his desk. Rows and rows of days and weeks, laconic remarks in a single column. Patrol, case, vacation, injured. In Martinaise, looking into Krenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter.
This man's no brother of mine, but this is his service history.
That makes sense to me. We have no
But this
more
is his
use for a
service
map
history.
of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas.
You know anyone who could tell me more?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to upset the people who are planning to launch a massacre here in Revishaw. In Martinaise, specifically.
It could go this or the other way. Maybe if you're tactful, it could be beneficial.
I mean, let's mark it down. Need the information.
Do what you have to do, Detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
Well, I might not. I'm just putting it on the list.
We will be careful, ma'am.
Alright. Whenever Kim doesn't jump in to specifically say I don't think we should do that, I feel reassured. Not necessarily that it's a good idea, but even some of my good ideas, like, oh, I'm being called to 1 minute, folks. I will be right back with you. Hang tight. And we're back. Abra had a throw up, so we had to take care of that. Don't worry, she's okay. Abra has two primary forms of vomiting experiences. One which is much less common nowadays because she takes her time with her dry food. But she used to get so excited sometimes that she would just like swallow it all without chewing. And it's like the dental food that she gets. So it's like pretty big kibbles. And she would just suck it all up. And then like moments later, just her gullet's like, nope, we can't do this. And she's just like, and it's all just a slightly grosser looking full kibbles. And then the other one, which is what just happened. Sometimes when she's drinking from the tap, it like goes down the wrong way. And she goes, and just like, with no like, just goes, it just like sprays like really watery vomit. Gross. But she's okay. Well, it's all for the tattoos. Thanks for your help, Joyce.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, thank you. It's all for now. This is going well. This is going well. I have 2 skill points to spend. But where do I want to spend them? I think I just want to hold on to them and spend them tactically when I have a sense of what's important. Maybe that's the wrong idea. Oh, let me look at my thought cabinet again for a second to see if I understand. Yes, I can unlock new spaces in my thought cabinet, right? But right now, I just have all kinds of thoughts that I don't have. The inexplicable feminist agenda. Hobocop. Anyway. What we don't have is advanced race theory. Right. I totally forgot that there's a recheck list. And right now, I don't even remember where that is. Where is it? I thought it was, yeah. Do I just not have any right now? I'm not sure. Well, I'll remember. Maybe, when the time comes. On the way back to actually interview those fellas, I should probably go see Everett Leclerc again, if only to actually learn my name. A little frustrating. I feel like my character, I feel like it should have been a very easy logic check that just happened. Roll a 3, and you can figure out that your name is what he just called you repeatedly. Who's this person? Is this Plaisance? No, this is a customer. Well, don't have any reason to be bothering her. I thought I did have a recheck with
Every snowflake is like a little gift from the sky.
Yeah. I need more composure. It couldn't really be that bad to have more composure anyway. But where on earth is this recheck list that I know exists? I looked at it before. Oh, it's the map, isn't it? No. Yes. So yeah, I could try another composure check. But you know what? Maybe I ought to talk to Plaisance first. Okay. Well, see you around, Annette. Here we go. Madam?
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Hey, Plaisance. I was told there's a huge fridge in this building's cellar. Could you lead me there?
A fridge? No, I don't know anything about
She
a fridge.
fidgets with her pendant.
Aren't you interested in books?
She nods at the bookshelves.
For whatever reason, she's lying to you about the fridge. Seems like you have to find your own way to the cellar.
Oh, so that's just it. All right. Farewell for now. Can I just go behind her curtain and start exploring? I'm curious what happens, but I assume that it's a bad thing. I get yelled at or something. But I just want to know.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
Shopkeeper, what's behind the curtains?
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books.
She fiddles with her pendant.
Feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books.
Maybe that is the curse of the bookstore.
Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
I look at the cage-like trinket.
You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you.
I'm going to make one little effort here. I'm going to boost my composure and see if maybe I can get Annette to help. If I can win her over.
Every snowflake is like a little gift from the sky.
You failed to deduce anything substantial.
I hate failing on a... All I needed to roll was a 6 or higher.
She waits intently.
Sorry.
It's okay, sir.
Can't deduce anything. Okay. Round out this little experiment by just opening these friggin' curtains. And if it's a big disaster, I will
The curtains,
see what
tattered with
I
age
decide
and
to do.
covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
All right.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her hand is closed around her pendant, her fingers nervously playing with the talisman.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
I've heard there's a fridge there that I need.
Everybody suddenly needs something from there. Leave the curtains be. It's what it wants.
Is this about the curse? Is that what you're afraid of?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
Man, this is not like your other customers who are just curious. We're murder police, and we need to get in here.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there.
She stops abruptly as her hand flies over her mouth, baffled by her own bluntness.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
I don't care. You can't stop me. I'm opening them.
No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
I don't know how extreme this is.
There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
I'm skeptical that I'm going to get cursed.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little cage-like trinkets, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
I warned you, you're unleashing forces beyond your understanding.
I don't think I am. Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Merely looking at that unmanly haircut threatens your masculinity. Well, then how strong was your masculinity in the first place?
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
Let's knock.
Only an echo. No one is there.
Okay, hold on. I have a +1 because I've broken into the communard's apartment. Does that mean... Let's find out. Can I either equip the cutters or the crowbar? One in each hand. Will either of these help the cause?
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in
Well, in that case, hold on. I look stupid.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets.
The odds aren't great, but you never know. Lady luck.
Locked.
Please let the dice stay hot. Ooh. Son of a bitch.
Ow. Shoot. Whose moronic idea was it to just run through the door? Don't you know that things like that hurt?
Oh, God. This really wasn't the best idea, was it, Lieutenant?
Are you alright? These looked pretty intense and painful, I must admit.
The lieutenant steps closer, his eyes soft and worried.
What is going on there? Are you really trying to break down the back door? I warn you, don't tempt the spirits, officer.
You can hear her take a frightened step backwards.
Or you'll damage the holy wards on the door.
It barely looks like you've done any damage to the door, however. It's still locked and closed, covered in dozens of little charms and trinkets.
Caution to the wind.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you.
A little bit better.
Covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms.
Come on, baby.
To be locked.
Hey, that looked green. Oh, it didn't work though. Arg! Kim, you can't like offer to time this with me?
You smash into the wood and see a small crack appear on the door frame.
Oh.
It's going to take one more try to break through to the other side. But you've done it.
You're not thinking of trying again, are you?
Yep. I am, Lieutenant. Now, painkillers don't count for my no drugs rule. Maybe they should, but for the moment they don't. Sand is dripping from a punching bag. The poster says, Citius Fortis. The rest is worn off. Worn out wall bars. They look unsafe. What do we have here? A shot put ball. Would the old men accept that as a replacement? Probably not. They made one time Rich, in his power as a track and field coach,
the color has worn off.
Got me to announce an indoor track event. So just like walk around with a wireless mic and be like, this next sprint is, and read off the names and occasionally make some dumb joke. So here's my proudest moment from that day. I was walking from one place to another. And I said, we're walking past the women's shot put at this moment. And let me tell you, folks, these ladies seem like they'd be terrible at bowling. The barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates.
It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's
60 kilograms.
Lift them.
Don't do it, Lieutenant.
There are no collars.
Self-detective.
This is a safety hazard.
Yeah. No. Nope.
Why does it feel so familiar?
Forget it. It's not a trap. All right, we got to find this fridge. Never mind what, Lieutenant?
It's dark.
Lieutenant states the obvious.
This would be a lot easier with a flashlight. I've got one in the Kinema's toolbox. We should go back for it before we continue. No.
Some areas are inaccessible without a flashlight. After you've acquired it...
Sorry to cut you off there, Lieutenant, but you are stating the obvious, and I did know you have a flashlight, and I'm going to go back to it. We'll shut the curse door behind us. Forgive me, lady, but I really don't like you, and I'm not actually sorry.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, a metallic drawer slide. It's robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Police issue, blue. Lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering levers and the radio on its hook.
Pardon me, Madame Plaisance. I'll be continuing to do whatever I want in your establishment. It's police business, ma'am. Oh, slick. Always blocked by old window panes and debris. I like this, how your mouse cursor guides the flashlight. It is kind of freaky back here, Lieutenant. A large demijohn full of strange liquid. Let's not touch that. Wild animals stare at you in the dark. Stuffed and mounted. Oh, good. Dusty old taxidermy littered around this abandoned place. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. Not the most dynamic and advanced shadow effects I've ever seen, but very nice nonetheless. A naked mannequin torso. Oh, good. Strange yellow color. What's in here? Oh, sweet. I am not too proud to scrounge every scrap of change I can possibly get in the hopes of keeping a roof over my head. A production schedule filament memory. Seems very pawnable. Steel rotor blades bearing a Slipstream logo. I guess the big dream is to get so much money that I can pawn Kim's cool hubcaps that he gave up just for me. So that what a good guy. I'm sorry, Kim. I'm sorry that you had to pawn those things. I really didn't want it to come to that. Where are the clothes for this mannequin? Why does it have to be naked?
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
Let's look at the drawings.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin. And even ether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space.
Interesting.
Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind?
Could be.
One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
This feels significant.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
Why would anyone spend so much time on this?
Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game.
One of them's a welkin supremacist.
Mm-hmm. Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
Well, this has been educational. Let's move on.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
It's impressive.
And for what? All gone.
What about these photos?
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow.
One moment. I'm not taking an intermission. I'm just curious about something. You know what? And maybe this is just... No. Definitely not. We're right about on track in game time and real time. Is that because it's actually the same? I don't know.
Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world.
I'm going to say like eggnog, like virgin eggnog. Virgin eggnog.
A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Wild. What's the schedule?
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. Everyone is constantly teetering on the edge of the abyss, an abyss of production. These squares look orderly, but beneath them is chaos, worry, pain.
Let's keep reading. What happened?
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days.
You?
Only failure and regret
What's up?
dwell in this region.
It's not that time yet. No, not yet. She's had enough. She's out of here.
Looks like they didn't make it.
Lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Let's look at these notes.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe."
Huh. Neat. Well, that was something.
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
He sounds surprised and a bit cautious.
But we are looking for a fridge, and we are pressed for time, so...
On the other hand, it's not that I'm not interested in abandoned radio computers.
No, it's true. Let's step away. Wait, no. Kim, you think I should turn it on?
Maybe the body has stopped decomposing somehow.
No, all right. You're right. You're right, Kim. Scribbled across a notebook. Developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. A diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being. The symbols seem very esoteric. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic.
Okay, wait. What? How do I know what this is?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
And I actually know what this is because of that?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
And what are these radio frequencies
Unclear.
for?
It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
Must be some elaborate art
I think
piece.
so. The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants.
And if it's a game, who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. All of this is gone, left unrealized.
There's a beautiful dream.
There's no way a little basement studio working could pull anything like this off.
A little bit of meta commentary, I'm thinking.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
And why do you say that?
The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
And what else?
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Let's keep going, Lieutenant. Pardon me. Money. Magnesium. Although my morale is pretty high right now. I'm feeling good. You know, relatively speaking. We have a giant... This is a fridge?
You see a
Ice bear
terrifying
fridge.
ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red.
Wild. So this is working?
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself.
Hey,
This
Lieutenant.
is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Relax, Kim. Hey, Jacket! Welcome! We're having a very productive day 2 so far here in Disco Elysium. Hope you're well today. I'm not technically well on my end, because I'm getting over a cold. And my country is at war. A trade war, at least. But I'm in good spirits. And I hope you are too. Relax, Kim. It's not a real bear. This is a fridge. Remember, we're looking for a fridge.
Of course. A giant ice bear-shaped fridge.
He relaxes his hand, his face bathed in the harsh light of the open fridge door.
Just what we were looking for. Let's see what's inside.
Let's take a look.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Let's take a look at this note.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Oh, sweet. Free magnets. Well, I mean, this is clearly the fridge that Kuno was talking about. Looks big enough for 2 corpses.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
But the optics on this are awful, he thinks. We need to be as silent as we can.
Yeah, no kidding, Lieutenant. The thought had occurred to me.
Shall we go and get the body, then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
Okay, let's do this.
The body is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the bedroom. Then more to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Beautiful. A dead body in a nice bare fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
I'm not sure I believe you, Lieutenant.
Of course you don't. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in a nice bare fridge. This does not leave this room.
He means it. He doesn't want to be the ice bear cop.
I'm not proud either, but we did find a fridge.
As impressive as the fridge is, this is a small victory among numerous defeats.
Kim, we're having a pretty productive investigation day so far.
At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances.
Ah, yes, right. Well, that's quite a silver lining or upside to this. That I get to look at this disgusting corpse more.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting.
Let's see. Odds are not good, but I'll get another level up before too long.
You touch the dead man's body. His skin is cold, light blue and silvery in the light of the fridge. You still have no idea where to begin, or what to even do with him.
It'll come to you sooner or later. At least he's safe here until then.
You're right. You're right, Lieutenant. Are these all just wrappers, or is this some ice cream?
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge, or the decomposing body in it.
All right, let's get out of here. What's this?
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Something in there?
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs.
What are you doing?
I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I hear someone talking upstairs.
Wait, really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
You're right. Okay. How am I doing? I have leveled up. I have a new skill point. I could dump it directly into perception and go back and try again. But I'm not going to do that just yet. Meanwhile, this handwritten note. Let's take a look.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
The lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
Let's see.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it.
That's our
somewhere
Kuno.
safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sully Soif.
Wonder who wrote that
Someone
note.
who owns a radio computer? My guess is as good as yours, officer.
Sure. What is the filament memory? You're kind of more
It
techie than
belongs
me.
inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right?
Oh, hell
It's
yes.
like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
It's like the production schedule you found. Only this one's an off-site copy.
Got any idea where this frozen ice cream maker could be?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the iceberg fridge.
Well, maybe if we come back to look at the body later, we'll think about that a little more. So how do we look for someone up here? Oh, perhaps? Or is that how I got into this area? No, this seems different. Oh, please be more pain medication. Or a postcard. Postcards are cool too. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. Oh, but there aren't good shoes that I can take and wear? I guess there's so many different shoe sizes.
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from here.
Well,
what an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Still nothing. No one's home.
One more try.
Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy.
Oh,
Your fist hurts now.
so fucking stupid. Ah.
There must be another way to wake up whoever is in there. Maybe we should ask the lady in the bookstore what's going on here.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Kim.
Bent metal, broken glass. Your path lies strewn with the broken forms of every
Hello, Jeff What? Hope you are well today.
You are the destroyer, the bane of inanimate matter.
No, just a disempowered individual taking out my disempowerment on everyday objects.
There's a discarded milk carton on the floor. Why don't you destroy that, too?
No, because I actually feel bad when I'm destroying things.
You're right. That's definitely not the behavior of a destroyer at all. That's just severe anger management problems and a disregard for property rights.
Listen, I'm trying to treat this amnesia thing as an opportunity to turn over a new leaf. Maybe I'll pop a few pain pills. I'm getting low. I guess I got a fair bit of money now. So I suppose I always have the option of literally just going to the drugstore and buying pain pills. All right. On the way out, we'll talk to Plaisance. We'll head over and talk to the Union toughs. Oh, what was that? Here we go. Poor animals. No rest for their bodies after death. What a sad thought, Lieutenant. Or Detective, sorry. Talking to myself, not to Kim. Put the flashlight away. I wonder if it affects my white skill check with a net that I've gone in there and not been ghost killed or anything.
You broke down the back door.
She looks very sad, resigned even.
The door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy leeching onto my shop.
Yes. Full recharge. So I still have 2 pain charges. And maybe I'll just try to stop punching hard things. All the damage I've taken today is just my own fault. Sometimes it's necessary to resort to extreme measures, ma'am.
I suppose it's all over now.
Her shoulders slump as if a heavy burden lies on them. What are you talking about? It's just a door.
Just a door? This place is cursed, Detective. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Just look at the sheer amount of companies that have failed in this house. I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything. Now that you've broken the door, the curse is coming to get me as well.
She closes her eyes and starts mumbling something to her pendant. Cursed? I thought the curse wasn't real, because I don't think the curses are real.
Of course you didn't. You're nothing but a policeman.
She shrugs, visibly dejected.
All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed commercial area. We are set on the path. There's little else to do.
Great. I'll do that. 10 minutes ago.
Her facade has dropped. Now you see the curiosity behind the fear.
Oh, now my composure comes through.
But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity?
The entity? No. I don't think so.
Yes, the malignant entity that lives inside the chimney. It takes the shape of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she knows more about the curse than she lets on ever since I first saw her.
You mean the chimney that's part of the central furnace? With the really, really hard curtains? Because I heard voices coming from there.
Yes, I've heard that. It's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains upstairs.
She certainly has.
What she's doing there? Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And do return to me after you've talked to it. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse.
If you're really interested in cracking this mystery, then we should go back to the furnace. Maybe you could yell into it or something. Make some noise.
Yeah, it's been a just a really productive start to day 2 so far. I successfully intimidated the racist lorry driver, and so we found the pardon me. Got a little bit of a cold. It's mostly gone. Found the lorry, found the evidence of a drug trafficking conspiracy, talked to Joyce, got much more information on the crime. There's 3 mercenaries that were hired to assist Joyce against her will. One of them allegedly committed a sexual assault. The Union lynched him, allegedly, for that. Now we're worried that the mercenaries, the 2 that survive, if they don't find the specific ring leader, are going to take the alternate route of just murdering as many Union members as they think were there as they can. Obviously, the Union will retaliate against that. It'll be a bloodbath. We don't have much time to prevent this. Oh, Lieutenant, I'm really touched that you already have the impression of me that I can always think of something.
Despite his cool, The lieutenant's interested in solving this mystery, too.
All right. Well, that's all I can say for now, peddler. Sorry. Book peddler. And then right from there, we made our way in. We found a fridge. We have refrigerated the corpse. Things are good. Ah, wait. I get my flashlight back out. So I'm 100 experience points away from my next level up. Maybe I will up my perception. Out of curiosity, hold on. Do I have any clothing that would increase my perception I'm just not wearing right now? No. Is anything I'm wearing now actually... I like that Harry's investigating himself here. No. Maybe I should level up my perception and take another crack at solving the mystery. Where do we go from here to get to the thing? Oh, yes. Here we go.
As before, an iron safety curtain curves before your eyes. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney.
Lieutenant, what if we tried taking these two handles and lifting this
This
thing?
is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from here.
Nothing. What if we go back down and yell up the chimney? Oh, I think that's what the lieutenant was saying. He wasn't saying yell at the curtain. Well, I'll take that as a sign that it is time to boost my perception a bit. And take another look at the corpse. Oh, earlier I said I got lots of morale. I've got 6 morale. No, I've got 6 like boosts to morale. Only 5 maximum morale right now. Alright, it's a sign. Let's do it. Presumably, if I succeed on this check, I'll gain a bunch of experience. So that might be exciting.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
Still not great odds. I wish we hadn't established probable cause, since that makes it worse, apparently.
Your arm reaches out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, dead flesh through the latex glove. It's right under the palm of your hand.
What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent, all around.
Let's feel his nostrils.
They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in.
Before I start doing that...
You're not far. It'll come to you. Keep crawling.
What about his mouth? Oh. Don't puke on the murder victim.
Is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop.
Oh.
You're on the right track.
Move his tongue around.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, fragile, even through the latex. From the soft meat.
I also have to not vomit during
hard
this.
pearls of bone.
Sympathetic. This is roleplay
In the back
at its finest.
Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
Look.
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. death fumes rising from his throat. And there,
hopefully they're rising a little bit less because he's been refrigerated for a bit.
The uvula, right in the soft palate. You see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened.
Touch it.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index
no going back
fits
now.
Right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Feel around.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again. Never wake.
Fair.
Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. The undulations of the limbic system have ended. All is quiet.
Lieutenant, there's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres of his brain.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper. Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow.
Gotta, you're trying to get a bracelet that's just a little bit too small on.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger.
Oof. I feel a solid object, Lieutenant, right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
I can, probably. Let me just, we only get one shot at it. Let me inspect the skull
There's
first.
a tiny crack. A protrusion in the cranium. Right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it. From the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull. In the encephalus.
I hope this gives me a bonus on this red check.
Into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
83%. Come on. Easy peasy.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
slowly pull my fingers out.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop,
5 experience
emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers,
maybe there's more to come.
A small flower, a blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
The lieutenant puts a bag marked evidence under it. Drop it in.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Keep it, Lieutenant. Consider it a gift.
No, you deserve it. We can log it later.
The lieutenant drops the bag in your hand. It feels light.
Looks like we need to add one more item to your injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion collar. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds about right.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Agreed. Wait, but wasn't that what we thought the last time?
That was then. This time we have extensive tissue destruction away from the wound track. This time we have a bullet.
You're right.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion? Non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, all of it. It's treatments, post-mortem.
Yes, and the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Yeah.
I have had my doubts for a while now, since I saw there were no signs of struggle on his hands, and no claw marks on his neck.
No kidding, Lieutenant.
There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too
There we
neatly
go.
designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
No more.
We almost fell for it, he thinks. Almost.
Who do you think would do this, Lieutenant?
That's for us to find out.
Yeah.
But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Why would they do it?
To hide something. The real killer, the real motivation, what really happened here.
I need to wash my hands, Lieutenant.
Oh, you really, really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling and Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
In the evening? Hold on, is that a timed quest? I'm not allowed to wash the death stench off? Oh, because I got to get in the whole bathtub. All right, fine. I'll just walk around all day with the death stench, Lieutenant, if you don't mind. Maybe the bullet's got the answers.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
Well, what's next, Lieutenant?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
And without you, you trust me with this? What do you think I should get up to while you're gone?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this.
Yeah, I probably won't go talk to the scab leader without you.
I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing.
He looks you in the eye.
Great work, detective.
Not gonna cry. But that means a lot to me, Lieutenant.
The word lingers in the air of the basement. Far away, ice cream makers are buzzing.
Not
and
gonna
the
cry,
sea
though.
wind blows outside.
Not gonna cry in front of Lieutenant. Oh, but it feels good. I am a detective. I'm murder police.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
It's what it is. It is what it is. Maybe it would have been nice if we had done this later in the day. Keep Lieutenant with us longer, but... Bag him, Kim. Take him away.
All right.
There. 65 total experience is a little more what I was hoping to rack up here. Very nice. It's a nice, simple experience system. It's always 100 points to the next one. There doesn't seem to be any scaling of rewards.
There go those beautiful enamel boots. You will never own the full set now. May they rest in processing.
Hopefully, later on, I don't just get shot, but I think it was the bad part of me in the back of my head saying I should just steal all this lovely ceramic armor.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
You get the ankles and I'll get the wrists. All right, well, alone again, naturally. Do I have credibility? Oh, our gardener friend is gone. Do I have credibility on my own to talk to the union toughs? Let's find out. Excuse me, madam.
let me handle this.
Oh, it's the gardener. The woman says to the crowd in the mess hall before turning to you.
You are far from home, officer. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
I mean no trouble. I'm here to do my job, that's it. You know? You union folks know about doing your jobs. Right? I guess. Oops.
Not a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern and perceptive.
You are looking for Titus Hardie, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him.
She points to the man standing in the middle of the room.
That's Titus. Talk to him, but know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming, nothing official. The District of Martinaise does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
I just want to ask a few questions.
Could this be the Miss Beaufort that Easy Leo mentioned? The one Mr. Everard sent to law school?
What's your role in all this?
Obviously, I'm a lawyer. A legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
Of course.
I would urge you to consider what you say to my clients.
Are you Lizzie? Elizabeth? Miss Beaufort?
I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and focusing on why you are actually here. Titus Hardie.
She points to the tall man by the table.
Even though she has excellent control over herself, something moved behind her eyes, in the way she stands, in her face. You caught her off guard. Push her some more.
Yeah, Easy Leo told me about you. He likes to talk a lot.
You are not here to chat up the legal counsel. You are here to question these men.
You set the pace and the topic of these conversations here. Establish that.
He said, Mr. Everard said sent you to law school.
I represent the union and these men here.
She points to the crew around the table.
Make this personal.
A very minor victory.
And so what if I wanted to talk to you?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinaise, you are no one.
Sweetheart, I've been no one for a lot longer than just since I've been in Martinaise.
I saw what you were thinking. You want to say, what are you going to do to me? Don't. Just because it's in your head doesn't mean you have to say it.
Yeah.
You will not lose out on anything good by not saying it.
Great. Well, I should talk to Titus then. I assume this guy is Titus. He looks tall.
This is where you say your bed.
A broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can. Throw him off guard. Say nothing.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
Is he now?
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
Believe it or not, no. Looks at his mates in
Hey,
disbelief.
asshole, up here. We're talking to you.
Yeah, we need to talk. But the man that got hanged out back? Allegedly.
Oh, this is about him.
He looks around.
Real looker, that won't.
Sort of, I guess.
You sure took your time, huh?
He looks to Titus for approval.
Real ripe and pretty for you.
Listen, bud, I had things to do.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell.
I can't for the life of me understand why you did it.
He spreads his arms.
I would have just left him up there. You must really like cleaning up other people's shit.
It's not about what I like, Titus. It's about what my job is.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them.
Scan the room.
No. I's here. You got business with my boys. You got business with me.
He understood what you were doing, taking inventory of them. Now watch the other guys fuck it up by falling out of line.
Yeah! You fuck with the Hardie boys, you fuck with Titus Hardie.
Shouts the scrawny rat-faced man, 2 teeth missing in the front. Kind of feel like missing your front teeth undermines the idea that you're rat-faced.
Yes, falling out of line to please him. This is the best kind. And now this guy is going to...
Relax, Dennis. No one is fucking you yet.
Says the 40-something man from the corner with a plectrum hanging from his neck.
Use it to take a dig at his friend. Floodgates open.
Yeah, Dennis, calm down.
A blonde man in
one's
his 30s
fucking
agrees.
Stupid fuck.
Let Dennis enjoy his fucking, man. We don't mind.
You notice gang tattoos. This man must be either Mesk or Saramirizian.
This one knows how to keep things going. He's a hothead, but not one to be taken lightly. The last one is a bit of a black sheep.
Yeah.
Fat guy in the middle lets out a little chuckle.
Dennis.
Easy, fellas. We got company.
Titus puts an end to it.
Let's see what brings the cop around.
Too late. You already got a pretty good picture of these guys. You can use this.
What can I use it for?
You could take another look at the tracks in the yard. See if they fit with the characters here. It could be incriminating.
So, the man hanging in the backyard, did you do it?
The pretty boy. You really love talking about him.
It's not about what I love. It's about what my job is.
Evidence. Show them you have it. It doesn't have to be conclusive.
Well, why was there a container belt around the man's neck?
Container belt? Like we use in the harbor?
Yeah. So why was it around his neck?
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him.
Ah, yeah. But he had already been shot to death.
We did this.
He looks at you dead in the eye.
All of us. Until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
Aha, so you're just confessing to murder.
Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
And you murdered him right like that. No remorse.
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
I can't remember.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
He says it as if it were worse than dying. Look. Honestly, I drink so much I really can't remember anymore.
Doesn't remember them. He just forgets. Are you hearing this, Titus?
Ain't no use keeping a stiff catalog in your head. That's for sure.
Who was calling the shots that night, Titus?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardie boy without arresting all Hardie boys.
I thought I can't arrest anyone, Elizabeth.
Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
No, but seriously, Titus, who's calling the shots?
Who do you fucking think does?
He sounds more amused than angry. Well, Everard Clare runs the union. You answer to him, right?
You keep him the fuck out of this.
He leans towards you.
We have autonomy. It's all on us. Everard runs the union. I run the Hardie boys.
When Titus Hardie says he runs the Hardie boys, he
She
means
adds?
that in an administrative capacity. On that night, everyone acted as one man.
So when did this hanging incident even occur?
You don't have to keep answering his questions.
The fixer turns to remind Titus.
I know, Lizzie. Relax.
Takes a sip.
Killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
How long had you known him?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
A pretend lynch mob. Titus gives Glenn a stern look.
Weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow. You're talking about Joyce? Negotiator for Wild Pines?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
He rubs his chin, pretending to mull it over.
This is where he tries to sow discord between you two, because he knows the company is responsible for bringing the mercenaries into town.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
She has said some interesting things.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
I hope this is not a time runs out thing before I get to this question. Let's find out. Why'd you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he's a mercenary, that's it?
He stepped out alive.
He repeats, jaw clamped shut like a vice. What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too.
The Pinkerton type.
That cohort.
Not that that means anything to any of us in this world and universe.
Ex-Martinaise Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Right, but what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
He wipes spittle from his mouth.
There's a slight unease in him, suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over.
Cracks his knuckles.
That was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grab one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
One sec. Yes, it is Eugene who's got the special gripe. He grabs someone?
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl. Young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt. Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Is this the same girl who was sexually assaulted? Raped, he said?
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Good.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
He repeats like a parrot. Right, but then who did he rape? This is a very serious allegation.
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinaise matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
Clowns, plural? I don't see any other clowns here except me.
Despite the stonewalling, you can slip one more question in.
Okay then. Now about the man you killed.
What about him?
How does the bullet in his head factor into all of this?
Huh?
Sip of beer makes the surprise go down easier.
How the fuck do I know? Anyone could have shot him. Target practice, maybe.
Another sip. He's tight-lipped suddenly.
This line of questioning is over. You got the cause of death already? Hanging. If there's any post-mortem trauma, it's your problem. This will not turn into a cross-examination.
So then how did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still.
It's not obvious to me.
That obvious, copper.
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
You're pretty sure you've had at least 2 years of cop school and many more of active service.
So besides the bullet in his head, the autopsy revealed his hands weren't tied. No sign of struggle. Got an explanation for that?
Look,
Looks even more irritated than before.
I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, capo. I'll say it again. We killed him.
But you don't even know how he died.
Yeah.
It
I
seems.
knocked him out. Came up behind him and clapped him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand.
That's right, lawman. And then we hanged the fuck.
So you knocked him out with what?
My fucking elbow, copper. Samaran boxing style.
Oh, very cool. And where did all this go down?
Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming to our bar.
Yeah, man. Weren't you listening?
Let's give it a shot. These things aren't quite right here.
Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But
Hold on. Who's solid?
Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man, the least antsy of the bunch. Definitely not his first time being questioned.
He is composed.
This little rat-faced fellow is solid too. Always fidgety, yes, but no change there. Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, or whatever he's got there.
So who's cracking? We got a weak link in the chain. Hey, you having some trouble breathing, buddy?
No.
He looks up startled, his forehead shiny with sweat. A few coiled locks are peeking out from under his warm woolen hat.
Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
The man next to the big guy bursts out laughing.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
Oh, yeah.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
There's something you're not telling me, just for the record here.
And fuck you, too, copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing.
You're real sensitive about Angus.
All muscle comment wasn't sarcastic. He's genuinely trying to look out for Angus. This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
Well, I got other questions.
Like what, copper?
I'm going to go back through this and try again.
Why? 'Cause he was worth paying. The kind of
A live grenade.
This one has a special gripe.
I can't prove it. Wrong?
Because I misinterpreted when they said you can get one more question.
He regrets mentioning the rape.
One moment. Now I'm going to turn the heat up in here. How am I doing for time? Probably got to shut it down soon. It's my night to cook, and also I'm recovering here. But one day we'll get another big long session in, for sure. And there's a long weekend coming up. Just 2 long weekends coming up now that I think about it.
To kill us all if we don't open the gates.
For me.
We don't let the scale.
One of them's a my institution only thing.
Bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite. Yeah.
Bing.
Show me your cunt. Why don't you show me your cunt? Then he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Okay, one last time. Who did this guy sexually assault?
Titus, do not answer. You have been forthcoming enough.
Fuck off, Carl. She's gone through enough without you harassing her too. She doesn't need more embarrassment.
Well, I need to talk to the victim.
What
I'm a cop.
you need is to get the fuck out of my face.
You hear the aluminum crack in his
I've had
palms. He
enough
squeezes the beer
explaining
can.
myself to you fucks. He's dead. It's done.
As you can see, these men can only take so much baseless scrutiny. I'm doing my best to keep the situation civil, but...
What follows is a slow head shake. Okay, baseless scrutiny? We've already established that they claim they did it. Although they don't seem to know even what they did because they think they hanged him.
It's true. She was the only thing holding him back.
So, what are we going to do now, Titus?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. You should go back to Jamrock, to your station, where you belong.
Yes.
I don't think I'm
Run
going to do
home,
that, Elizabeth.
Lonely rent-a-cop. Real law officials are done with you. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Rent-a-cop. So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equal. Forget about their games. You've mapped out the characters. Reading the footprints in the yard should be easier now.
You know, you still haven't explained the bullet I found in his head.
You still on about that bullet? A bullet in a hangman's head. You're right, Copper. That is mighty curious.
Truly curious. Because if you hanged him, how'd the bullet get in his head?
Well, there are so many bullets in the world, and so many heads.
How about that? Yeah. Standard police issue handgun. It's a 6-shooter. Toot.
I guess it's only logical. At some point, one of them bullets had to end up in one of them heads.
I suppose inductive logic might tell us that.
It's bound to happen again, you know? Just statistically speaking, of course.
Sure, but just one more time. Why was this in his head?
Wow! He's got it in a real evidence bag and all!
Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened.
Did you guys shoot him? Nah.
You know what I think? I think he was shot in the head as a kid, and his brain grew around the bullet.
Maybe.
Around the bullet, man. That's a good one.
They're only pretending to enjoy this. Beneath the act, they don't like you knowing this.
So, hey, did you guys shoot him?
Shit! I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know me when I'm drunk.
Well, he didn't get shot last night, though.
Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guns when he's drunk. Better hope he stays sober.
Yeah, but I meant before he was hanged.
Before? After? During? This is getting ridiculous. They told you what happened. Stop wasting your time.
Nah, don't worry. I'll figure it out sooner or later.
Never been worried in my life, Lawman.
Sure, buddy. Sure. He crosses his hairy arms, having forgotten about his beer
It's
for a
not
minute.
like he blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there somewhere.
Hey, by the way, I talked to Joyce. The merc you hanged? His friends are coming for you.
Yeah. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Crenell.
Yeah. You don't seem worried.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
They're snickering in the room. Some of the men put their beers down.
Titus did his best, but his men are a bit unsettled.
They're forming some kind of tribunal. And they're coming for you.
Let them come. The Hardie boys are right fucking here.
Sure. So, 6 of you in clothes. What do you think you can do if they come for you?
You heard the man. Right here.
Points to the
We're
ground.
armed. We got the whole district behind us. And Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah. Is he a traumatized mercenary in ceramic armor with a semi-automatic weapon?
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
Crenell's bad news. You know that, right?
So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy Army. And the Madre scum. You've been out there. Seen any around?
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
They have automatic weapons.
We got weapons of our own.
He cracks
We
open his
got
vest to
Mr.
give you a glimpse of his holster.
Zealagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home.
Oh, well. If Glenn has a knock cannon at home, I guess he'll be fine.
That thing has 7 barrels, 1 trigger. You do the math.
The math suggests you will all be riddled with bullets and easily killed, with no casualties suffered by the mercenaries. And Joyce, speaking of the mercenaries, they're not being controlled by anyone. They came for Wild Pines, but Joyce says they've gone rogue.
Big fucking surprise.
He mutters.
They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose into city. What do you think is gonna happen?
All right.
What do you mean, okay?
I mean, okay. I'm gonna wipe you the fuck out. Well, hold on. Yeah. I mean, okay. They're gonna wipe you the fuck out, Titus.
No, they won't. Get
He shakes his
here
beer
with
at
your
you.
Negative energy.
It's not the energy that's gonna decide who gets wiped out. It's the ceramic armor and the automatic weapons.
He really doesn't like you ruffling their feathers like that on what might be the eve of battle.
No wonder you cops get shot to shit every day. Can't go to war with an attitude like that.
Well, I can have another shot at this if I bolster my authority. And maybe we'll roll double sixes. Establish authority.
Establish
No.
authority.
Oh, so fucking close, too.
Authority. Feverish thoughts race through your mind.
I need Kim and his gun here to do this.
The fuck are you talking about? Gun? No one's gonna let you wave a gun around here.
That's it. That's all I got.
Did you already try the gun thing? I hear the gun thing is excellent and has great results. You're probably right. The others are only there for filler, to make the gun thing pop.
Listen, I'm the only thing keeping this town from going to hell. You're not helping.
And what exactly is it you've been doing that's so goddamn special? Shitting yourself in front of us. Going around, harassing kids on the street. Kids who've done nothing wrong.
No. Not harassing any kids. I've made friends with Kuno.
All the while talking racist shit. Don't think we aren't watching, fascia. People here trust us. We're getting complaints.
I haven't said anything racist.
Of course you have. You've been calling people kipped left and right, inciting race violence in my town.
No.
Kylie said they've been trying to set up a race rally, whatever the fuck that means. Trying to get the kips out of Revershaw before the economy goes to shit.
That's a lie. There's no race rally.
Sure there is. Kylie said they're bulk purchasing confetti, ribbons too, and loudspeakers, and fireworks. Kylie works at the carnival shop, you see.
Get the fuck out of here, you racist carny. There'll be no race rally in my town.
What's going on? Are you racist now? Is the rally real? Please don't set up any rally. It will make you look awful.
Well, this was embarrassing.
There is no rally. Come on. Just ask questions. You need to put this race rally garbage in a real
All right.
room.
Well, we can try that again later. I was so close to getting this legendary check. But maybe tomorrow with Kim, we can be a little more intimidating. I'm taking off. Pardon me, folks. Maybe I'll go wash the corpse stink off me since Lieutenant Kim's not here. That should be good for morale. A little privacy. Words fail to describe how rank it smells in here. They should have sent a poet. Well,
This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now.
well, what are we going to do then?
That soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to you.
Let's have a bath.
The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons.
Yep, it's cleaner than me.
The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting, like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks, like sad duckies. You feel nice and lonely, and so tired.
Get the beer cans out of here.
Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub. But it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub.
Let's linger a bit.
Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools.
Maybe I can imagine something nice.
You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver
Nope.
on you.
Failed.
It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench. Then, houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature.
Let's get out.
The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin.
Nice. We're on our way to another level up. Got a skill point. Maybe I want to boost my authority. Maybe I guess another way to boost my authority is to get rid of the rigorous self-critique when I've completed it. But who knows what I'll learn about myself. And then one last task for the day. Let's go back and talk to Everett Claire. One more time. Lock it, at the very least, lock in my own memory of what my name is. For the most part, the skill checks have gone very well for me today. And I'm grateful for that. And perhaps my task for next time, as I while away a day without Lieutenant Kim, is to head down the canal and see if I can help out with Lena's missing husband. Oh, wait. Jeez. No. 2 more things. I do have to go look at those tracks again. Will those unlock... Will those give me a bonus and unlock that skill check again? That would be nice. Or at the very least, maybe I get some experience. A bonus would be great. What if I got both? Who's that? Where is she? Upstairs? Yeah, obviously.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here. Sitting at a desk, Lieutenant Kitsuragi fiddles with a pen, then writes something on the paper in front of him. He shouldn't be doing that. He should be here discussing the footprints.
Oh, well. Hey, Kuno.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Kuno, I found your shack.
Yeah, did you fucking there?
What's with that pig head?
Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape.
Cool. Pig head. I liked it. I got one too. This one. Shit.
What is this shit? Fucking on yourself. This is weird level shit. Kuno doesn't go there.
I'm just taking the piss, Kuno.
Your shit back to normal. What is this?
Well played. No one saw that coming.
I found a plate covered with powder residue. You know anything about that?
That's where Kuno gets his daily hit of electric. Kuno Shazam. Kuno rides the fucking lightning in there, pig.
I assume this is an electrochemistry check?
Bet you'd like to ride the lightning too.
Nope.
Wouldn't
No, I
you?
don't. I don't.
You feel tired and old.
I am
but
tired
you
and
could
old,
have
and
that
that's okay.
sparkle in your eyes.
What's with the tuba magna solum, Kuno?
It's a vitamin, pig. Don't you know anything?
No, I know. I take a lot of magnesium. He looks at you like he just pointed at the sun to ask what it was.
You could use some.
Yeah. It's magnesium, right?
Yeah, it's the mag. You fucking need that shit to stay on top of your game. Kuno goes through like a tube a day, rips Mag like a motherfucker, and you could use a bottle.
You're probably right, kid.
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno. He's gonna use it against you, Kuno.
I know all about magnesium. I rock it all the time.
You're not getting this, Pig. It completely takes away the
No,
hangover.
it doesn't. You don't have
It's
the
like
right
you
kind of
didn't do
hangover if it
anything.
does.
Like you stayed home playing with your choo-choo.
He looks at you, eyes bulging.
Fuck you, Pig. Don't do Mag. You're gonna OD and you're gonna fucking die.
Alright, I've heard enough of this
Good
shit.
call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom.
Alright, I'm out of here, King.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Yeah, you do, Kuno. Don't lie to me. I know you like me. I've already succeeded at this. Hooray. A similar looking metal sphere. Okay, another thing to do before we wrap up. Let's see if we can find our old guys, René and Gaston. See if they'll be happy. Ooh. Hold on. Can I just find out from the journal if, is this... No. It is locked, I can see. Footprints in the dust is allowed again. If only I had a map. Because I guess it's not those footprints. I don't know. Worry about that later. Where does a map come from? Feels like it should be easy to get. Do they sell it at like the friggin' drugstore? Maybe there's another thing I'll check before I finish up. Yep, there's our boys. I guess I could run now. Kim's not here. I think it's weird. Pardon me a moment. Complete stranger sent me a text message that just says hi.
We're still waiting for a replacement for the Boule you sent sinking.
I found you a new one.
What is this? Are you mocking us? This isn't for pétanque.
But could you...
Now. No need to get angry again, René. I'm sure the officer tried his best. It's not like there's a Boule kiosk here in Martinaise.
Exactly. And I really did try.
Trying is worth as much as is accomplished. In this case, almost nothing. Fine. You try to right a wrong. It's still a gram better than actual nothing.
René, I found your guard booth.
Yes. The Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the night. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you.
Of course not.
I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He adds with a slight sigh.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
So you must have seen something on the night of the murder, because your room's looking right out on the yard, and you weren't asleep.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Why are you on leave?
It's a private matter.
Hey.
Nothing to do
Sorry?
with your investigation.
Fair enough. Withdrawn.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
That outburst made him clutch his chest. That's not great. You want some magnesium? I'm loaded. Who was working your shift that night?
No one. The boss has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
They've just left it unguarded for a whole week?
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Mostly decorative?
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
He tries to argue.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
René is but one man. You know, what we need here is a program. Get everybody back in the job market. Keep folks motivated.
Look, officer, can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now?
If you don't mind my asking, before we do, I saw a picture in there. You were in it. You looked happy. There was a girl. Who's she?
She is nobody. This is none of your concern.
Hey.
And I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
I was acting as just as a pal.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Thank you, Gaston. And I'm sorry, René, if I offended you. Got it. Thank you.
Yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Saw the statue near the roundabout.
Ah, yes. King Philip III on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Oh, absolutely.
He smiles as if reliving a pleasant memory.
Cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who knows how to rule.
How should a true king rule?
Decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood.
I don't know, René. It kind of seems to me like the whole point of a leader is to take care of his people before himself.
A nation is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such madness to try to...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
There's some weariness in his voice now. He's heard this rant many times before.
The carabinier doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates unbreakable resolve. No one and nothing can change this man's mind. He is as rigid as they come, still in that antique uniform. It's a symbol for him.
Did you say something about cocaine, Gaston?
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy the nobility loved so much. A cocaine connoisseur of sorts. His egocentricity is borderline legendary.
You can't even take responsibility for yourself. How could you fathom the responsibility weighing on the shoulders of a ruler?
He asks, obviously annoyed.
That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine, for clarity of vision, to aid in their work. Regnum cocainum, Revachol's finest years.
He seems to grow taller, brimming with pride about the past. You're telling me they used the cocaine for clarity of vision?
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made him administer the dose to his mother when she was in labor, and it is well known that with the help of cocaine, only the purest, of course, he was able to connect with higher realms.
It's a shame that René was born in this alternate timeline and not our timeline, because he would love the Dune books. Holy shit. René would love the Dune books.
Higher realms. Of course, it all makes sense.
Was that about higher realms? Sounds kind of interesting.
It's really not. Please, do spare us the cocaine fairy tales.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else.
Right.
Let's give it a shot. Can I figure out what makes this guy so proud?
All you observe is a veteran refusing to let go of the past and his old uniform. This is not uncommon.
I bet it has something to do with the girl.
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabiniers in service of Frissel I, Guillaume Le Lion, and the valiant King Philip V before him.
Don't you mean Frissel the Fan?
You do not speak his name, Craven. Although he was a clown.
He adds, and turns back to
He
you.
was our clown. Ours to ridicule and to mourn.
There's something you missed. You'll get to it. Don't worry.
Maybe at some point I'll put another skill point in composure so we can take another crack at Annette and take another crack at René. Thank you for your time.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinaise.
It's because I keep saying none of the above to the political stuff, isn't it?
It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin, but something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
Okay, first of all, where's this Kingdom of Conscience?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times.
And how do you bring about those circumstances? Voiced in my mind.
History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly.
Well, hold on. What about people who are trying to make the world a much, much worse place too quickly? That seems like it could also be bad.
That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
What about all the things that are wrong now?
Tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the Kingdom of Conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. But that's no excuse not to keep working. What sang-froid? What benevolence?
So is this Kingdom of Conscience actually about doing stuff? Or are we just preserving the status quo?
Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed?
Sure.
There you have it. Sometimes holding the line is progress.
What's this Kingdom of Conscience actually like?
The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, and even more difficult to describe. Partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The Kingdom of Conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
Jeez, big choice to make here. Post-sexual. This sounds kind of... I don't know. When it started out, like, I believed that, yes, chaos and bloodshed is bad. Bad things can happen when you try to bring about change too quickly. I don't necessarily believe that we should be aiming for this. It all seems fine, but yeah. We still gotta live in the present.
What you want is immaterial. The Kingdom of Conscience is coming, whether you like it or not. Only very slowly.
Well, indecisive. I remain indecisive. You know what? I think noon is a great spot in-game to shut her down. So we'll start next time by going back to talk to Evert. And we'll see where it goes from there. This, as I've been saying, is just a great game. I have just been having a terrific time with it, and I expect to continue to do so. And I look forward to doing so again. So check it out. What's coming up? As far as I know, there are no obstacles stopping Greg from coming over on Wednesday so we can beat him up on a little show we call Greg and James Beat 'em Up. I don't know what games are on the agenda, but time will tell when we get there. Deck is clear for Friday Night Frosthaven on Friday, playing the tactical RPG board game, Frosthaven, together, starting probably the Raven's Roost scenario. But maybe going back to the depths of Delirium. I have to drop something in the group chat, because Greg and I discussed it privately, and then he was like, we really ought to ask Rich, our regular third player. And he's right. So I'll do that, and we'll find out there. And then, so here's the Saturday plan going forward. I'll reiterate again. We're definitely doing Sierra Adventures, but if I have the energy, the time, the capacity to get into full drag, I will assume my drag persona, the Professor Jamie Rose, and we will play Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards, a game that I've had extremely brief experience in my youth. Couldn't tell you a single thing about it anymore. But I can't do that. We'll carry on with Space Quest V, The Next Mutation, which has been really fun so far. I'm going to figure out how to use this banana and some combination of the surroundings on this planet to defeat another Terminator. I don't know. I got to look around more for... There's got to be something I'm missing where I can knock her off her game. Because my original plan of causing her to slip on a banana peel is just clearly not going to happen. Or maybe it is, and I just haven't figured out where to click. I don't know. Maybe I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll beg you, the audience, for help. And then, before you know it, it'll be next Sunday, and we'll be right back here. No kidding. The real Terminator sequels also introduce Lady Terminators, although I don't remember Terminator 3 featuring any sort of banana defeat of a Terminator. Then again, I only saw it once many years ago. Who knows? Who knows indeed? So yeah, there we are. That's it. That's all. That's all there is. If you stuck around to the end, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you came and you left, you can't hear my voice. I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So thanks for stopping by. And until the next time, when we're here in the snow, cold and hungover, still 2 days after our last serious drinking. Take care of yourselves and be kind to everyone you meet. Vive le Canada! Viva Mexico!